And we are now getting into Champ Select. We've got picks and bans on the screen right here. First one is going to be Gragas, taken away from Shui Shui. You're laughing. Did I say it right? I did say it right, right?
Shui Shui.
Shui Shui, yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Shui Shui has had very mixed results. Of course, the two kind of really brand new pieces coming into OMG's roster are going to be amazing. The support and Shui Shui, the jungler, of course, taking over for a rotating door of supports for OMG in the past, and Xiang moving from mid lane to support now into the top lane. Shui Shui has played a lot of Gragas so far to somewhat mixed results. So the thing about OMG is that they have an incredibly high percentage of taking first tower, and it used to be before, of course, they had their loss yesterday, that anytime they got the first tower, they had a 100% chance of winning the game. That has since changed, but it's still incredibly high. But their percentage of first blood and their timings of first blood is actually very delayed. So what that tells me is that their jungler isn't able to make it connect in the early game.
And we'll have to keep an eye on Shui Shui to see if that is the case. The high impact early game Gragas no longer available, though Rek'Sai, Sejuani, those meta picks still very popular. We can see Looper looking at Rek'Sai for Kandi, decides to lock it in. A ban that I don't notice, and this was something we were talking about before, is Cassiopeia. Both Cool and Dade are undefeated on Cassiopeia this split so far.
Yeah, but we're coming out pretty quick here. I wanted to touch a little bit about the Rek'Sai for Kandi's hands. He's a very aggressive jungler. Again, Kandi was handpicked by Dade for this team. He is a Chinese jungler, so not a Korean. On the other end, though.
Yeah, we do have Maokai and Nautilus locked in for Shui Shui and Xiang. Kandi looking at Thresh for Love CD right now. Maokai and Nautilus, we've seen a lot of these guys lately.
And this is really the response. Now, the reason why you're seeing Nautilus first rotation so quickly is because Alistar was banned, and it's almost like the Cassiopeia Azir. It's Alistar, and then the answer to that then is Nautilus, the two tanky frontline support. So with Alistar taken off the board, it makes sense that priority jungler is taken away, and then immediately you have priority or the next in line best support, which is going to be that Nautilus for his hard engages, tanky stats, and his overall lane pressure in a 2v2. Maokai, no surprises to see there. Xiang, of course, he was a big Syndra player. When he moved into the support position, he moved into a Morgana player. Maokai has been kind of his go-to champion because he's defined himself as a top laner, as a very role-style player.
Interestingly enough, we've got Lee Sin being locked in for Shui Shui and Uzi getting Corki.
Uzi and Corki.
Yeah.
Now, typically when you think about Uzi, you think about Caitlyn, you think about Vayne, hyperscaling champions. He's been pulling out a lot of Corki. He has some decent stats on it. The thing that I wanted to point to, though, is the denial of Sivir. So Master3 took Sivir in their second rotation from the blue side, and Sivir right now has an 81% pick ratio in China, and likewise an absurd win rate in China, and primarily because of Uzi. He's so devastating on that champion.
Yeah, and that is taken away from him. Now we've got Master looking at their last picks for Gnar and Cassiopeia. It is going to be Dade on Cassiopeia in the mid lane. Looper going to be taking that very scary Gnar in the top. Last up is amazing, but looks like Master, they've got their team comp all figured out.
And let's touch again on Dade. So Dade is a player in Korea known as one of the best mid laners to ever play the game. He had a very small and kind of refined champion pool, the Yasuo, the Twisted Fates, things like that. Really well known for playing the Flash Ghost on his mid lanes. Now, it was really surprising when he did decide to pull out the Cassiopeia, and then again in response is Cool's going to go to the Azir. So we talked about Alistar and Nautilus, and then Azir and Cassiopeia as kind of the two matchups. We will see Cool on that Azir in the mid lane. Dade has been branching open his champion pool into more meta streamlined picks like the Cassiopeia, and it was kind of a question mark. Is he going to be able to perform on that? Because before, he wasn't a big champion pool owner, but the champions that he did have, he mastered them. He was flawless on them. And so far, his Cassiopeia has looked really strong. Yeah,
he is going to be up against Cool on that Azir, as the comparison was made. Should make for a very exciting matchup. I've really seen it go both ways, but that was Azir as the last pick for OMG. And we'll have to see if OMG can keep up with that flawless 4-0 record they've got against Master, because right now, Master have got a pretty scary team.
And right now, OMG are really hurting for some points. Both these teams are kind of sitting in the upper middle pack of the bracket so far, so a good 2-0 here, or at least a split, because that's really been the story of OMG so far. Every single match they find, they somehow find a way to split.
We'll keep an eye on whether or not that split comes out. It's going to be very exciting to see how this match plays out. Uzi played exceptionally well on Corki yesterday, and he is going up against SMLZ on that Sivir. Should make for a very, very thrilling matchup. Do you think we'll be seeing any sort of lane swaps going out?
Typically, every single team has been lane swapping Sivir. It's just so potent because of her wave control and wave clear. It's not that Sivir can't face in a 2v2, because obviously she actually does really well against Corki due to the ability of her spell field against or spell shield, excuse me, against his phosphorus bomb. But it's just the tower pressure.
It is a very powerful combination, but we're going to be getting into game right now. All right, we have loaded onto the Rift. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Again, it's Masters versus OMG. That's Oh My God Gaming. Actually, it's not Oh My God Gaming. It's Oh My God. Yeah.
Oh My Gaming.
Oh My Gaming, yes. And we can see some 5-point defenses coming out from just about everyone. Shui taking some minor harass from Cassiopeia. That's a whopping 3 seconds shaved off of that late game Cassiopeia.
Getting those stacks.
Yeah.
Applying to her passive. Now, the thing that I want to point out is Cool, of course, took the cleanse, and that's something that we see very common against the Cassiopeia, but not quite for the reasons that I think a lot of players... hold on, though.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of action. It was amazing getting just a touch too far forward, takes some harass, and gets right back out. Okay, touching back to the cleanse. So not quite to a lot of expectations. So people would say, okay, yeah, against Cassiopeia, of course you would take a cleanse because you want to get out of her petrifying gaze. You want to be able to walk away from that. And of course the cleanse can help there, but it's primarily to reset the poison. So you want to cleanse the poison off of you in Cassiopeia because with how her E works, the Twin Fang, if a target is poisoned when she hits it, it immediately resets the cooldown. And it's the difference between a 0.5 cooldown of something that's going to be doing ridiculous damage late game to a 7-second cooldown. So it will be very exciting. Does look like we're going to get Masters starting on the bottom side of the map, starting off with both of the Krugs as SMLZ wants to get some additional experience going up against Uzi and Amazing. They are going to be heading towards the bottom as well. Shui starting off with those Krugs, and Xion going for the typical Wolf Camp. Direwolves teleporting into the top.
And we're finally going to see a 2v2 situation as opposed to Sivir being lane swapped. So what's important to consider here, as far as OMG are concerned, are kind of their statistics for first tower. They get a very early first tower, and they almost always get the first tower in their games. So we'll see if maybe the fact that they are facing off into a 2v2, if this is going to slow them down, especially as LoveCD misses the hook.
So close. The level 2 coming out really fast for Masters in the bottom lane, but as you mentioned, missing the hook means it's a little bit tougher. LoveCD getting turned now upon by Amazing, but he just soaks that harass and walks right on back.
And really that was the advantage of the fact that SMLZ and LoveCD decided to take the early Krug, so they had an EXP advantage going into the lane. Tried to make it connect, didn't land their CC, but that lands.
Ooh, that lands. The Phosphorus Bomb finds SMLZ. He flashes back and is going to make it out alive. He burns both Flash and Heal. LoveCD now running for his life. No summoners to be spent by OMG. Oh, and Love forced to burn his Flash. He gets out alive.
Uzi and Amazing came out way on top in that exchange, and since bottom lane has won itself, we do see Shui up into the top lane. Now the thing, Twisted Advance.
Yeah, he's going to catch him. Looper going for the bounce. He's close to Meganar, but isn't going to be dived under the turret. Gets out alive.
What I was going to say is it's so lovely to gank for a Maokai just because that Twisted Advance's W is going to give anyone with a skill shot in Italy, or in this case Lee Sin, pretty much a free Q and free damage onto that target, which you just saw there.
Yeah, lots of harass coming out as SMLZ and LoveCD were forced out of lane. That's going to put Uzi in a pretty comfortable position. You can see he's already almost 2 full minion waves up, and you mentioned the potency of that Quirky into Sivir and how scary it would be if Sivir could just Spell Shield, but missing that Spell Shield costs so much. Here we've got Cool and Dade trading a lot of harass. Poke versus lane bully presence. Who is going to win?
Well, they're both effectively lane bullies, but Cool just got the better position right there. Now, what's really interesting about Azir and Cassiopeia is they're both lane bullies, and they both have hyperscaling potential into the late game. Both kind of suffer a bit of a mid-game power trough. I think Cassiopeia's is much more severe simply because she's going to rely on stacking items like her tier. They're very core to her kit. So it's about, can Cool make plays when Cassio's slightly weaker than him, or is Dade just going to be given a free lane hyperscale and say, hey, Azir, I'm meet you in that late game. I'll be doing disgusting damage with my passive and stacking items.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that power trough works into that early tower stat you mentioned from OMG. They do like to take that very fast first turret, and if they can sort of transition through that early turret into several more and try to force themselves out of that early power trough nice and quick, then they can hit some pretty scary late game scaling. Amazing trying to go for some zoning. He's going to be taking a lot of damage here. If he can burn SMLZ's shield, oh no, Kandi comes in from behind. It's suddenly a 3v3. Shui in the front line. He finds Love CD. He doesn't have flash. Flay knocks them all back. They're going to continue chasing. Shui jumps out. Amazing is going to be in the front now. Uzi trying to tank as best he can. Amazing running for his life. He's down to 100 health. The boomerang is dodged completely. He makes it out alive, but the Prey Seeker finds him for first blood.
Remember that stat when we were talking about how OMG just aren't really successful in their first blood attempts? And it kind of tells me that maybe their ganks don't go quite according to plan. That was exactly what we were talking about in Champion Select. Shui comes in. Unfortunately, though, Kandi was right there. The counter gank just didn't work out, but now in the top lane. Yeah,
a bit of action as Looper and Xiang are trading back and forth, but it's not going to yield any fruit just yet. Xiang needs a bit more time to mature before he's going to start dropping some tasty soccer balls.
Now, let's kind of talk about the fact... I see what you did there. Let's talk about the fact of where the first blood gold went. So it went on to Kandi into the jungle, so obviously kind of a sigh of relief for Uzi there is that it's not retaining its power inside the lane. He's not dealing with the Sivir that has the first blood. That said, it's now pressure on Kandi that he can take this early advantage that he's been given and continue to apply it across all of his lanes.
You can already see he's going forward. Whoa, Xiang gets aggressive onto Looper with the flash level 6. To try to zone him out, and that's going to burn Looper's flash as well. Teleport's not going to be up for about another 1.5 to 2 minutes, so Looper just has to sit back and farm. Things finally setting down a bit.
Let's talk about the double Doran's Blade from Uzi here. So something that I really love about Uzi's play style is that he contests every single creep. Anytime the enemy AD carry will step forward, Uzi will almost always make them punish for an auto, like he just did to SMLZ right there. The fact that he's willing to sink 800 gold in items that effectively won't build to anything just to win the lane, just to be that aggressive harass, poking you down whenever you step forward, is very characteristic of Uzi's play style. Because, I mean, he could have easily gone into a longsword and helped get to his Phage faster for the Trinity Power Spike on Corki.
Seems like Uzi looking to get a little bit more aggressive this game. He is in that 2v2, and Masters didn't lane swap out of it. So while he was up maybe 2 minion waves earlier, he's just about dead even, and with the assist gold on SMLG, it's going to be probably pretty identical, if not a minor lead in favor of SMLZ, though you can see the lane pressure from Uzi is keeping SMLZ and Love CD under their turret in the bottom lane, and that's forcing another response out of Kandi as he's making a beeline down to the bottom.
And Uzi's going to continue to do this, to play that far forward, to be that aggressive, but meanwhile in the top lane we will have opposite side jungle pressure. So as soon as Kandi shows, I was going to say, as soon as Kandi shows on the map, I would expect Shui to step forward in there, but hook lands.
The hook lands onto Uzi. The great dark passage tosses him right back in. He gets level 6, but not a lot of good that's going to do. Teleport coming in from the side. They're turning now onto Kandi. He's knocked out of his tunnel, being with a great knock up there. Flay. Love CD has had some excellent plays so far. He's going to toss a death sentence, finds it. Phosphorus bomb gets the kill. Xiang tries to dive, but cannot find it. Uzi coming in from behind. The teleport comes in. He gets the kill, but he's going to trade his life back, and this could be 3 kills for M3 as Amazing is trapped by Looper. So much damage coming across. Maokai can't help at all. He is tossing out a building now. Mininar going in 1v2. You've lost all your tanky stats, friend. What are you going for? He gets the reset. He's going for the kill. Is he going to be able to? He gets it indeed, but he's going to die. No! Oh gosh, he finally does. An amazing trade in the bottom lane.
Looper overcommits. He made the teleport late. He needed to take a kill there, otherwise it would have been all in vain, and he would have just wasted his cooldown and not gained any sort of advantage in return for it. Commits his life. It is a better trade for OMG in the end, especially because now that there's zero pressure bottom because everyone's dead, Cool and Shui immediately running into Kandi's jungle, take the red buff.
Oh, they do succeed. Shui gets out of there just fine. Kandi going to be taking the long way around. Here's Dade. He could pincer them over the wall here. Knockout comes out. Flash slow is going to find Shui. He runs to the dragon, but the dragon finishes him off. Dade picks up the kill, and Cool runs away.
Just could not get that shield up in time.
Yeah.
Good pinch maneuver from Master3 right there. I wanted to talk about the teleports a little bit, because Looper was kind of the god known for the, oh, his teleports are so amazing, he's always on time. Completely late right there. And then the other big thing was that Xiang got there first. Now, what's really interesting about Xiang is he actually has the highest kill participation of any of the top laners in LPL. And so, again, it's how do these stats work into the identity of OMG, and when they do something, they do it together. So again, their first bloods, the early ganks don't go quite so well. Shui is not really the primary carry of the team, but they're more about that 5v5, and when they do group up, when they do get that teleport from Xiang, things do happen for this team.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we see from their stats. Xiang, he's 103, being involved in all the kills for OMG, and all of those kills have been in the bottom lane. Though Shui has been to the top 2 times, looks like he's going to be a 3 time after he clears out his Krugs. all of the pressure that OMG have been placing have been oriented around getting Uzi in a good spot. He is finally now getting closer and closer towards that Trinity Force.
Sheen first.
Yeah, going for the Sheen first, Phage
Classic.
second. Azir looks like he might be going for a roam. Cool, spotted out by wards. M3 know this is happening.
I didn't even notice that Dade's tower has already gone down, so Cool shoving him in.
Yeah, that's usually a good thing, to win your lane and take turret.
I mean, typically it's the lane that Uzi's in, just because he's been playing so much Sivir, and it's just about pushing the lanes. And that's what I want to talk about. So historically, it's funny that we finally get a 2v2, because I feel like every single game has just been about the lane swap, since Sivir is such a big pick right now in LPL. Hold on, didn't think that was going to connect.
Yeah.
Uzi used to be, no matter if he had a losing lane matchup, he'd take the Vayne, he'd take the Janna, and he would always take it in the 2v2 because he knew, I can beat this guy, I can be better mechanically. So to finally see him again in his aggressive natural habitat of that 2v2 in the bot lane is really refreshing.
Yeah, and it's yielding some pretty positive rewards. Love CD takes a depth charge, just runs under his turret. Unfortunately, that turret doesn't provide shield. Rek'Sai going for the farm alarm. He's actually going to make it onto the right side of the jungle to find out that OMG are doing Dragon, but Masters have got no vision. They don't know this is happening. This could be scouted out by Kandi. He's coming forward, just dropped his ward. Yeah, he sees that it's going down. Doesn't get the steal. OMG take the first dragon free. And
the only reason that OMG were able to take that dragon for free is because of the pressure that Uzi and Amazing are exerting on the bottom side of the map. The fact that they have complete control of this lane, that they forced SMLZ to pop the on the hunt defensively to save Love CD's life, gave them the go-ahead to take that free objective.
Yeah, that puts OMG in a very comfortable position. And as I understand, OMG, they've got a pretty stellar stat for their first dragons.
They get it around 10 minutes, so they're just about a little bit late. Hold on, though. Kandi looking for the Lantern knockup.
Love CD gave it away, though. He was like, oh, I'm Thresh. I'm walking forward aggressively. Don't mind me. Don't pay no attention to the Lantern in my back bush.
Love CD is the shot caller for Master3, so.
Oh, hook is going to land on Love CD, but Kandi was, in fact, waiting in the wings. That was not a bluff. Shui has joined the battle. It's 3v3 now. The kick comes back around. SMLZ in the back line gets fed over to Uzi. 3-1-0 now. They continue pressuring for this tier 1 turret.
Just an easy feed into the all-star ADC. And again, we kind of talked about the question for OMG is who are they? What is their identity? They used to be kind of the Trinity threat of going leveling and cool, and slowly it's starting merging down into their bot lane as the replacement from San to Uzi. And this is the fruit of all of their labor. Consistent ganks and teleports bottom. All of the action has been down here. Almost 100% of the kills. Of course, Uzi just one shy there. 3-1-0, like you said.
Well, that's just because he died before Nar was able to go down.
But what does this...
Didn't get the assist.
But what does this equate to? So we talk about how last split, OMG were kind of, you know, on the fence. Are we going to go with going in love lane? Are we going to put our attention to Uzi? And then it kind of failed their results, or they didn't get the results that they expected from an all-star superstar team. They didn't take first in the LPL. But is this iteration of OMG, the one that is almost a pseudo Starhorn Rail Club, all about Uzi in the ball lane, is it better than the dynasty that OMG have set when they entered into LPL, being that top 1, top 2 team historically that they've been pretty much every single time, save for last split?
It's hard to say. I mean, you're getting some pretty fantastic performances out of Uzi right now. Obviously, he's 3-1-0, and OMG are feeling very confident with Cool actually doing a great job of keeping Dade down in the mid lane and that first dragon. So statistically, OMG have got everything going their way this time.
Other big itemizations, speaking of going away, the Trinity Force has been completed for Uzi.
Ooh, Cool getting a bit aggressive on the Dade.
Thought he was going to go for the Azir sec.
Didn't want to go for it. Here's Xiong from the backside. Righteous Glory Flash puts him under the turret. Xiong now running for his life. Lots of damage. Dade needs to pay attention. Azir doesn't follow up with the dash Azir sec. And lets him go.
And this is what's so devastating about Azir. Kind of one of the few things in this matchup against Cassiopeia is just how much damage he can put out without being a threat of her ultimate. The fact that his Sand Soldier has such a long range and control that he can just consistently put Dade down, force him to vacate, and Dade can't even respond with the Petrifying Gaze.
Yeah, Dade seeming to have a bit of trouble. We mentioned that this would be the big highlight, Dade versus Cool, and so far it seems to be going in Cool's favor. He's up 15 CS, he did take down that first turret, and now with Dade's flash gone, he's going to be pretty free to keep up the aggression. And that pressure mid results in a turret in the bottom as Uzi and Amazing take down that tier 1, knowing that Kulu and Shui are on that side of the jungle. They can get out just fine. SLMZ is the target, though, as Amazing drops the depth charge. He's going in 1v2, though, as Uzi doesn't seem like he wants to get any auto attacks. Condi from the backside. Uzi says, sorry, dude, I wasn't committed to that.
Amazing, dying for random reasons.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I wanted to talk, let's talk a little bit about Dade, though, because you kind of asked a big question, the fact that the lane phase didn't quite go his way, the fact that OMG have snowballed kind of a global lead, although as I say that, we do have some action happening top lane.
Yeah, Looper is going to be caught by Shui coming from behind. Cool comes in from the last remaining direction. Out of three directions agree that Gnar is dead. Oh, Uzi getting a little bit aggressive here, but teleport from Xiong to help him out. Dark Passage is followed. Xiong is going a little bit too deep, deeper than expected, but he's actually doing just fine. Righteous Glory is enough while Uzi continues to hammer in from the backside. 1 kill goes down. Is it going to be 2? It is indeed, and Uzi gets out alive before flashing aggressively. 3 kills for OMG.
Uzi is so good at just understanding the cooldowns and the fine line that he can tread between can I go in, how aggressive can I be? He immediately sidesteps the death sentence, then just goes ham into the fight, doing a 2v3. Wow. All on that sidestep to dodge the death sentence.
Yeah, exceptional play from Uzi as he's coming up big. 4-1-2, finished his Trinity Force very early. Now going for a Bilgewater Cutlass, soon to be Fleet of the Ruined King shortly thereafter. And with that, it's 3 turrets missing from Masters. And they don't have that first dragon. They're down a lot of kills.
And this is really expected of OMG. They've kind of transformed themselves into a very rotation-esque style of team, similar to kind of how Vici Gaming really made their name. And I wasn't sure if it was just, oh, it looks like we're going to actually have a replay.
Yeah.
So the important thing to watch here is just Uzi's positioning. Now he's going to step forward of this wall. Love CD's going to throw the hook, sidesteps back to it, and then he immediately throws down all of his damage. He is going to go ahead and burn the Valkyrie as soon as Condi Flash knocks up onto him. Then he's going to flash forward, finish off with a rocket and an auto attack.
Yeah, we're getting right back into the action, though. Dade caught 1v3, the rotations from OMG. 4 members picking up the kill on the Dade. And with that, OMG continue to pressure forward as Uzi is looking so strong. The mid-tier 2 is going to fall, and Masters just aren't responding to this. Here's the late recall out of Looper and SMLZ. The hook as they go for the dive. Love CD's the target. He is destroyed. They're even going to follow onto Condi. Insect is going to miss as Shui does just go for the flash kick and instead kicks him sideways, but that's 2 turrets and 2 kills. OMG with the incredible rotation.
And this is what I wanted to talk about again. Goes back to identity. Who are OMG? What type of team are they? In their last split, they started to kind of show this this idea that we'll quickly push down as many towers as possible. They were one of the first teams to really pick Sivir back up and just run with that. And it was, is this a byproduct of this is just how powerful Sivir is? The fact that she offers so much siege potential, wave clear potential, and the ability to rotate with her on the hunt, take down towers? Or is this just something that the team are naturally suited to and they pick up Sivir because they know that they're strong about this? The fact that they're continuing to be so rotation-oriented, so tower and structural oriented with a Corki tells me that this is just their identity. And what's really interesting here is kind of the changing of hands of the shot caller. So Lovely and Go going with a primary and secondary shot callers for OMG in the past. And with their benching, it was kind of curious. Who is going to take the lead on OMG? What direction are they going to go as a team now? Uzi was the shot caller for Starhorn Rail Club, and we're starting to see a very similar style of play. Again, I called it the pseudo Starhorn Rail Club that OMG are transforming into. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's working so fantastic. OMG now 5 kills, up a whopping 6,000 gold. Uzi, in fact, leading the charge. Not even afraid to take the boomerang there as he gets some minor harass from SMLZ. He's dead even in CS, but he has got so many kills and assists that it doesn't even matter. The pressure on the map from OMG is ever present, and Master just isn't responding to OMG's consistent pressure. They're not shutting Uzi down. They're letting Cool continue to roam and back up Uzi and Xiong. This could be OMG looking very strong, perhaps grasping at straws for that great form that they once had a few splits ago. 5-man shove in the bottom lane as OMG look to put some pressure onto this tier 2, but the minion wave is going to be cleared reasonably quickly.
Looking for the Azir sec with Cool standing off to the side, or how he can somehow get involved. I was going to say, it's a little bit curious that they're not playing with the open inhibitor mid-wave. I think that was a bit of a fumble and loss of pressure for OMG, just because they had an opportunity where they could have... Ooh, hold on.
Xiong is caught, though it looks like it could be all part of his brilliant plan. nope, he decides that's not part of my plan. In fact, that was just a mistake.
Okay, so this is where OMG slightly fumbled the ball as far as the rotations. They had an opportunity where Cool could have been in the mid lane, or someone could have been in the mid lane, applying pressure with that open inhib. Whereas, since they commit to having Cool just kind of standing above them in the jungle, looking for perhaps a pick on a rotation, they lose a lot of their momentum, and Looper is finally able to pick up that top tower and the first one for Master3.
Yeah, things are finally starting to look a little bit better for Masters as Looper is feeling pretty comfortable. He does have a decent CS lead against Xiong, though he is down in global gold, presumably by a lot. He's got some pretty defensive
5 towers?
stats. Yeah, 5 towers, 5 kills. Pretty scary number.
The nice thing, though, is that he has both his armor and his MR components pretty much finished. The Randuin's Omen, as well as the Hex Drinker. And this is really important just because Uzi's the big Fed 1-5, 1-3 on this Corki. Corki does mixed damage, so both magic and physical damage. And it's really just so potent that your Gnar, your big tanky frontline, has the ability to deal with both those types.
Yeah, it seems that Looper is going to be looking to get in the back line and tank quite a bit, as so far he's not been able to really get too involved with many of these fights, as he was picked off twice in the top lane and once in the bottom, going for that single kill that he has. He's going to have to do a lot to keep Dade and SMLZ alive, as the dive coming out from OMG and simply the rotation plays are super strong. This is another rotation play as OMG find themselves in M3's blue side jungle.
But if we're talking about the most efficient way to speed up this game, it's actually a little bit of a slow rotation. So after Dragon went down, effectively you have a 6-minute window to play to the top side of the map. OMG decided to play to the bottom side when we were talking about how Cool should have been in the mid lane, or they should have been applying pressure in both lanes. But because they had so much vision placed down there, because they had just taken the Dragon, they decided to play down their wards. Now that you see all of the wards have expired in that bottom side, Master3 red side jungle. So now picking up their vision, moving it over into Master3 blue side, trying to make their play for top while they wait for the next dragon to spawn. If they make a big pick here, it'll translate into a major objective.
Flash from Dade comes out as he is forced to dodge the hook out of Amazing. This could be a bit of a window of opportunity, knowing that Dade can't exactly run away from a depth charge anymore. OMG could potentially look for a dive. Xiong has his teleport as well. Baron is on the map. OMG put up pressure in the mid, and Masters are forced to consolidate themselves mid. Sit back and defend. Wait for OMG to slip up and make a mistake before they can really make a thing happen to themselves. You mentioned that Cassiopeia is a late game hyper carry. She just has to make it to that point.
Yeah, talking about win conditions, for Master3 right now, it's about clearing out their own jungle, making sure that they can secure their flanks and safely farm their side lanes. That said, OMG are going to punish this, force Master3 to make a decision, force them to fight now, and forcing them to check Baron.
Yeah, pings are going down. We've got 2 members rushing over there as quick as possible. Looper is opting to teleport in. Let's see if he can make it in time. The hook is going to find they turn it into a fight and secure the Baron. This is exactly what OMG wants. Shui Shui in the front line. He kicks Dade right back in. Uzi, untouched in the back of the pit, is shredding through Master's health bar as Looper goes low. Dade falls. Looper is going to be the next to fall with a great Mega Gnar. He's stalling this out. Could he actually go for the kill here? Flash from Uzi to get out. He gets out alive. 4-5 members dead, and ace from OMG.
Okay, let's talk about exactly what you said, the fact that Uzi was so untouched in the backline for so long. That said, he did fumble the backside of the fight. He actually Valkyried into Looper, and we saw if Uzi wasn't as far ahead as he was, he wouldn't have been able to pull an aggressive maneuver like that. That said, Uzi's pretty good at understanding kind of the power that he has, so I'll give him that one. With the free Baron, with the free ace, it's going to give OMG a free inhibitor, and frankly, this should be a game, set, match for Masters 3.
Yeah. OMG are looking very strong with this, and Masters, yep, there's the surrender vote right there. Masters decide that, you know what, when it's time, and it's time to end the game. So, Masters, unfortunately, losing to OMG with that match. Very, very impressive play from Uzi with that. He really came up big, and like you mentioned, he was kind of gambling with the numbers a little bit at the end, but I guess he had enough of an advantage.
It's about, again, I'm going to keep hammering this over until we have a clear definition of who these teams are. What are Masters 3? Where are the power for them? Who is the hinge in which they swing? You would think it would be Dade, that Masters 3, that team was built for Dade. It's for him to succeed. But unfortunately, on a late game scaling champion,